Alright, so this should be a good one. Four-wheel high, diff lock, off a stoplight, in traffic, at 2,000 RPMs. Auto start off, traction control off, four-wheel drive high, diff lock, and I finally remember to put it in sport mode, give him a little bit of a head start. 2,000 RPMs, go. Not impressive. It's pretty good. Bad for a little four-cylinder.
Those last two pulls were a Jeep Gladiator rental and a Ford Explorer rental. Both slow, but the Jeep's really slow. This is me testing out the rear locker. It locks in immediately very nicely.
It's not quite hitting the bump stop on the other side. And obviously, to even make that possible, I did pull off the front air dam. Because, yeah, obviously the truck.
Yesterday, after learning that this truck is incapable of spinning a proper donut because when you turn the traction control all the way off by holding the button for 10 seconds, it's not really all the way off. I had to order the 5-star tunes thing for it. I contacted them. They said it pretty much removes the entire torque management system, and it does it in such a way where you won't feel the power come on and off, and you won't have that throttle response lag, which is not throttle response lag. It's the engine deciding you don't deserve the power. I hate that crap, especially when you go through the trouble of holding the button down for 10 seconds. It's pathetic. You have to do that and void your warranty because you need a warranty on a turd truck like this. But you know, Chevy gives you the ability to turn off your traction control completely from the factory, and the Ford does not. The Dodge I rented didn't either. That Ranger I had, oddly, seemed to have no torque management. Make it to where I could do a little off-roading if I needed to. So you see that skid plate right there? Really thin, better than nothing. There's not a whole lot of real delicate stuff up there. The real delicate stuff is right here. And there's no skid plate whatsoever. So that's a plastic oil pan on this 10-speed, which whatever is not. I don't love that it's plastic. You can also see the plastic oil pan on the engine with its plastic drain plug. That's really stupid. I hate that Ford does crap like that. Whatever. I'm not going to work on this truck. That's the dealer's job. This skid plate back here is a little bit thicker aluminum under the transfer case. I'll probably leave that alone. I just ordered the RCI Metalworks skid plate that goes from the engine to the transfer case and goes over the exhaust.
Donut. The first step is to lock the rear differential. It helps you from just lighting up the inside tire, and it's better. Then you turn off the traction control, but you don't just turn it off. You hold it down for 10 seconds. Advanced track off. Then you put it in manual mode. Manual mode is good because it won't automatically upshift and it gives you control of your ratio. When you have a 10-speed, you have a lot of different choices. You can also throw her in sport mode for good measure. Don't think it actually matters once you're in manual mode. And then you kind of think about where you want to do the donut and which way you want to come out facing. You kind of come into the turn, a little dab of brakes, throttle up, grab a gear. Oh wait, excuse me. Traction control turned itself back on when we went to sport mode on the high side. And when the truck flips, most people would rather be on the high side, which doesn't make any sense to me. But we're gonna do a left hand of it. So first gear, traction control off, dab the brakes, apply the throttle. Here we go. Second gear. By yard had almost recovered from the last donut incident. I feel like traction control is still involved here. Huh. The Ranger whipped a lot faster, so maybe we wouldn't have traction control all the way off. Advanced track on. That did not feel good. I felt like maybe that was just Ford's stupid torque management system being annoying. It's just cutting the power. Oh, that is disappointing. Well, I always said I'd never tune a pickup truck because people who tune pickup trucks are people who can't afford to buy a sports car. However, this thing really needs a tune to get rid of that Ford torque management. That is obnoxious. Here's my average fuel economy for those who don't believe that it got 16 miles per gallon. I know you guys all swear you get 20, but you're liars or you don't understand math or whatever. I've also checked this screen against my Phillips and it's fairly accurate. So trip 2, that's all the miles that I've had on this truck pretty much, 900 miles, and it's 16.1 if you can read that. And trip 1 is the last 300 miles is also 16.1. Now you'll get better gas mileage if you don't get the low gears, but if you don't get the low gears, your truck is slow and it can't tow. If you're gonna run 33s at any point, you definitely want the low gears. While I'm here, I'll talk about trailer backup assist. Definitely a pansy feature for those that can't back up a trailer. But playing with it, it's really helpful with my little trailer because this truck is so long that it's hard to maneuver a little trailer that wants to twitch all the time. Storage bin right here, it's about $100. Very nice feature. When the seats are down, you can't tell it's there. And when the seats are up, you know, you've obviously got come along, tools, more tools, seat covers, whatever, ropes. And that keeps your bed free for, you know, ATVs and things that belong in a truck bed. Took the F150 long bed F x4 to Holapaw. Really impressed with how this truck rides on the dirt roads and the whoops and stuff. Does have a foiler in the back, which makes it ride a little better, but even unloaded for the towing capacity of this Ford, it rides real smooth. The parking lot's pretty packed, just having no issues out here. We got 16.3 on the way here, doing about 80 miles per hour, some of it, then 70. But yeah, no problems with this so far. After looking under the Dodges, I am kind of sad about the lack of skid plates on this thing compared to some of the other trucks, but it does just fine. There's an F150 EcoBoost. I don't know where she's parking, but going all over the place. Spinning a little bit, not too bad. Man, as we discussed with the Ford Ranger I rented, the best thing about Fords right now is the locking differential setup. So like any four-wheel drive truck that I know of, you can't really lock the rear diff in two-wheel drive. The Ford does have speed restrictions. You can't do it over 25 miles an hour, etc., or 20 miles an hour, but you just pull the knob out and the rear diff locks immediately. And that's because of the design of the rear diff and also the fact that Ford's cool and lets you use your locker whenever you want. Probably wondering, Mud Puppy, why did you buy a Ford? Well, I can show you the reasons. It's pretty simple, really. That right there is a 36-gallon fuel tank. It goes all the way from there to all the way back here. I wanted a big fuel tank. That right there, those wires, that little green connector, that's an electric locking rear differential. It's a pretty cool locker too. You can lock it while you're rolling and stuff. You can't do that with most lockers. And it's a cool locker because you can lock it in two-wheel drive. It has an 8-foot bed. As you can see, it's very long and penisy. I wanted an 8-foot bed. And also, you can't see it, but that rear axle has 373 gears, which you cannot get on a Silverado. As you can see, there's a lot of rust in here already. The axle shafts are rusting. The yoke on the rear diff's already rusting. The actual diff housing itself is already rusting. Not a lot of protection. This frame, while massive and tall and stuff, very thin. I'd be worried about denting it if you jacked it up in the wrong spot even. And of course this is aluminum. And when you go through the car wash, you can see the hood flap around really bad. It's a 5.0, it's a 2020. You're probably wondering, why didn't you get the 2021? It's new. Well, for 2021, the 5.0 has cylinder deactivation, and I don't like that crap. It worked okay on my Chevys, but Chevy did have problems with it. And I added these little rings because there was no tie-down points except for those 4 chintzy ones. I added these factory Ford tie-down points because it wasn't enough hooks in this bed. I added the steps because you could see the frame and it looked really bad hanging down, and also helps my mom get in the truck, and also helps you get stuff out of the bed, and also it protects the bottom of the aluminum doors, which, as we know from the last F-150 I reviewed, they wrap all the way around and they're really prone to getting dinged by rocks and stuff, so that adds a lot of protection for your doors. It's flexed out right now and all the doors open and closed. Body lines look fine, so the frame is stiff. We'll give it some points there. I like that Ford gave me the auto high beams. They actually work good. I'm not a big fan of auto anything, and I do not like the Toyota auto high beams. These are pretty decent.
Yep, I got the little tiny screen. That sucks. I wish I had Android Auto. Mirrors, great for towing, but they blind the shit out of you at night, and they're very noisy. A lot of wind noise over the mirrors. I do have some wind noise from the dash right here in some part. It's not like an AC thing. Definitely going to complain about that. It's not as quiet or refined as my Silverado, that's for sure. It's beefier than my Silverados. I feel like I could pull on it without bending it. I did bend the Silverado hitch doing a bunch of snatching, but this hitch does look significantly better. The Silverado's hitch drops down a lot, which makes it weaker. This hitch is straight across, so that's good. I added the trailer brake controller, which was really easy. That was the only towing option this truck didn't have for some reason. I had to pick between either having the trailer brake controller or not having a spray and bed liner. So obviously I got the spray and bed liner from Ford, and I added that myself. Used Ford Scan to activate it, easy day.